What if artificial intelligence did not begin in Silicon Valley, but in stone? Thousands of years ago, meaning was carved into stone. Today, meaning flows through silicon. But intelligence is not defined by material. It is defined by structure. In both systems, meaning changes with context. Symbols combine, weights adjust, meaning emerges. Is this coincidence or continuity? This is the story of intelligence before electricity. Hieroglyphs were not decorative art. They were a structured encoding system. More than 1,000 distinct symbols existed, each carrying sound, meaning, or both. Some symbols represented entire words. These were logograms, one symbol, one idea. Others represented sounds. These were phonograms, symbols functioning like letters. And then came something extraordinary. The determinative, a silent symbol, that changed meaning. The same phonetic spelling could mean river or journey. The determinative told you which. Meaning depended on context. If meaning depends on context, is intelligence the ability to interpret context? When the Egyptian scribe carved symbols into stone, he was not merely writing. He was externalizing memory. He was building an external brain. Stone became storage, symbols became structured memory. Intelligence begins when memory leaves the mind. A symbol alone carries no intelligence. Meaning does not exist in isolation. In semiotics, meaning emerges from relationships. A glyph beside another glyph changes interpretation, just as a word beside another word changes context. Pause. Are we beginning to see the architecture? Look at the evolution of information systems. From clay tablets in Mesopotamia, to hieroglyphic complexity in Egypt, to the alphabet compressing language, to the printing press scaling knowledge, to binary reducing language to mathematics, and now, artificial intelligence. Each stage does one thing. It increases the efficiency of pattern processing. Intelligence scales when structure improves. Modern neural networks operate in layers. An input layer receives data. Hidden layers transform it. Weights adjust importance. Activation functions decide significance. And finally, an output emerges. Not from a dictionary, but from probability. As described in Deep Learning by Ian Goodfellow and colleagues, modern neural networks assign weight based on context and relational proximity. Meaning is statistical, but structure determines interpretation. The determinative in hieroglyphs does not change pronunciation. It changes meaning. In neural networks, a weight does not change input. It changes output probability. Different material, same principle. Is intelligence biological or architectural? Before Egypt, before hieroglyphs. In Mesopotamia, clay tablets became humanity's first data storage devices. Cuneiform symbols pressed into wet clay. Each wedge, a unit of information. Not art, accounting, grain, livestock, trade. Intelligence begins with tracking patterns. Civilization emerged not from strength, but from record keeping. Information allowed coordination. Coordination allowed cities. Cities allowed civilization. What happens when information scales faster than society? Then came the alphabet. Instead of 1,000 symbols, fewer than 30. Language compressed. Cognitive load reduced. Replication accelerated. When symbols shrink, distribution expands. Efficiency is intelligence scaling. In 1440, Gutenberg's printing press ignited an explosion. Ideas could now replicate. Mass duplication created intellectual acceleration. Knowledge was no longer elite. It was scalable. Information systems were evolving. Then came the most radical compression of all. Binary. Everything reduced to 0 or 1. Language became mathematics. Meaning became electrical states. Structure was no longer carved. It was calculated. In 1948, Claude Shannon formalized information theory. Information became measurable, quantifiable, predictable. The architecture of intelligence was no longer philosophical. It was mathematical. And now, artificial intelligence, not magic, not consciousness, but the culmination of 5,000 years of structural refinement. From clay, to stone, to ink, to print, to binary, to neural networks. Are we building machines, or accelerating history? The determinative in hieroglyphs does not change pronunciation. It changes meaning. In neural networks, a weight does not change the input. It changes output probability. Different material, same structural principle. Hieroglyphic texts were layered, symbols arranged in deliberate structure. Neural networks are layered, hidden layers process patterns before meaning emerges. Intelligence is rarely flat, it is layered interpretation. Modern AI models use context windows. They analyze surrounding words before predicting meaning. Ancient scribes relied on contextual glyph clusters. Meaning never existed in isolation. Is intelligence simply contextual sensitivity? Observe the pattern. In hieroglyphs, symbol right-pointing arrow context right-pointing arrow interpretation. In neural networks, input right-pointing arrow weight right-pointing arrow output. In both cases, interpretation is not stored in the symbol itself. It emerges from relational architecture. When structure improves, prediction improves. This is the engine of intelligence. Knowledge is power, and it takes exactly 1 second to subscribe. I'll wait. Good, now let's continue. Hieroglyphs externalized memory. Neural networks externalize pattern recognition. In both cases, intelligence leaves the biological brain. It becomes infrastructure. What happens when memory becomes infinite? The printing press scaled ideas. Binary scaled computation. Artificial intelligence scales prediction. Each leap increases reach. Each leap reduces friction. Intelligence grows when replication accelerates. Is intelligence biological or architectural? Does it belong to neurons or to structure itself? Perhaps artificial intelligence did not appear suddenly. Perhaps we have been refining its architecture for 5,000 years. Stone became ink, ink became print, print became electricity, electricity became code. The material changed, but the structure did not. The human brain evolved to detect patterns. Hieroglyphic systems formalize pattern. Neural networks automate pattern. Intelligence may not be thinking. It may be pattern resolution. Ancient systems preserve memory. Modern systems predict the future. Neural networks are not archives. They are probability engines. They do not store truth. They calculate likelihood. What is intelligence without certainty? When structure scales, impact scales. Hieroglyphs influenced kingdoms. Printing presses influence revolutions. Artificial intelligence influences civilization. The architecture remained constant. The consequences did not. Modern AI models use attention mechanisms. They determine which surrounding information matters most. Ancient scribes used determinatives. Both systems assign importance. Both systems filter meaning. Importance defines interpretation. Writing allowed preservation. Printing allowed multiplication. Computing allowed calculation. Artificial intelligence allows abstraction. Each step reduces friction between pattern and prediction. The curve does not represent intelligence appearing. It represents acceleration. Acceleration changes everything. Today, billions of humans interact through digital networks. AI systems process language at planetary scale. For the first time in history, intelligence operates beyond individual minds. Are we witnessing the birth of planetary cognition? Is intelligence something we possess, or something that emerges from structure? If meaning depends on relationships, then intelligence depends on architecture. 5,000 years ago, a scribe carved symbols into stone. He did not know he was participating in the evolution of artificial intelligence. The architecture of intelligence was always there. We did not invent it. We refined it. We often speak of artificial intelligence as if it appeared suddenly. But history does not move in jumps. It moves in continuities. Clay became stone. Stone became ink. Ink became print. Print became code. AI is not an interruption, it is a continuation. The human brain is a biological neural network. Artificial intelligence is a mathematical neural network. Both rely on layered processing. Both rely on pattern recognition. Both rely on context. The difference is not architecture, it is substrate. Silicon replaced biology, structure remained. Hieroglyphs could not scale infinitely. Printing presses could not predict. Binary could not interpret meaning alone. Artificial intelligence, too, has limits. It predicts. It does not understand. Prediction is not consciousness. Structure is not awareness. We fear artificial intelligence because we imagine it as something alien. But its architecture is ancient. Its principles are historical. Its roots stretch back to the first scribe who encoded meaning into matter. Understanding reduces fear. When the first symbols were carved into stone, humanity created an external brain. Today, AI systems expand that brain beyond anything the ancient world imagined. We are not replacing intelligence. We are extending it. Writing preserved memory. Printing replicated memory. Artificial intelligence predicts from memory. Each stage moves one step further from raw symbol toward autonomous structure. This is not magic, it is refinement. For the first time in history, intelligence operates at planetary scale. Billions of humans, trillions of data points, neural networks processing language across continents in milliseconds. We are witnessing the scaling of structure. Is intelligence inevitable when structure becomes complex enough? This is your comment trigger. From stone to silicon, from determinatives to attention weights, from carved symbols to predictive models, the architecture was always there. We are not witnesses to intelligence. We are participants in its evolution. Every system we build refines the architecture. If this perspective changed how you see intelligence, explore our History Reimagined playlist to dive deeper into ancient civilizations. Explore AI evolution to understand modern systems shaping the future. This is a Square Solutions, bridging the past and the future of intelligence. Subscribe to continue the journey.